Ever wondered how the games we play today were born? Let's take a trip back in time to the 1970s when video games went from an idea to an industry. In this video, we'll explore how the first video games were created, the companies behind them, and the ups and downs of their journey. Are you ready to travel back in time? Let's go. In 1971, the first arcade video game, Computer Space, was released. Created by Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney, it was a huge leap into the unknown. But did it succeed? Not exactly. Though it pioneered the industry, Computer Space was too complex for many players. This was a time when the arcade game market was still finding its footing. In 1972, something magical happened. Atari, founded by Nolan Bushnell, released Pong, simple ping-pong game that took arcades by storm. Pong was the first commercially successful arcade game, and Atari became the face of gaming in the 1970s. In fact, it helped pave the way for the entire industry's future. Atari made millions, and the industry saw its first signs of massive potential. By 1977, Atari took the biggest step yet, the release of the Atari 2600, one of the first home consoles. It revolutionized gaming, bringing the arcade experience into living rooms. With cartridges that allowed players to change games, it was a game changer. The 2600 sold millions and was the start of gaming in homes around the world. 1978 brought Space Invaders by Taito, a game that revolutionized arcade gaming. The simply yet addictive gameplay turned it into a worldwide phenomenon. Arcades became the place to be, and the golden age of arcades began. By 1980, Space Invaders had earned over $2 billion in quarters, and arcades were flooded with people seeking the next big hit. In 1979, Asteroids hit the arcades and became another massive success. Its vector graphics were revolutionary for the time, and the gameplay was fast-paced and addictive. By the end of the decade, companies were seeing major profits, but the industry wasn't out of the woods yet. But not everything was smooth sailing. By the early 1980s, the gaming market was saturated. Overproduction, low-quality games, and the sudden rise of home consoles led to a massive crash in 1983. Atari, once a giant, faced huge losses and was eventually sold. It marked the end of an era for arcades, but also the beginning of new opportunities. While the 1970s ended on a challenging note, the foundations were laid for the explosion of the video game industry in the 1980s. Despite the crash, companies like Nintendo and Sega would soon rise to prominence, and the gaming world would never be the same. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the birth of video games. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more gaming history and fun facts. See you in the next video.